Top 5 decks for September 2022. Yeah, I know, we're deep in Sprite tier format right now, but there is a silver lining to the format. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Top 5 for the month here. We're going to start things off here with Rakdos on Avalon. Now, I was a little bit skeptical about still putting this in top 5. Coming out of Euros, this deck was fantastic, man. Like, so many people looked at Rakdos on Avalon. It had a pretty decently high representation. But as by decently high, I mean you had, what, like 3, 4, I think maybe 5 in top 128. Honestly, as the weeks have been shifting here, I feel like the more that the format is developed, the more that this deck kind of starts to spin down a little bit. Now, that's not to say that the deck is necessarily bad or anything, but what we have been constantly seeing with the deck is it's just kind of falling out of favor. And it's kind of like how trends go with already very niche interactions. Yeah, the deck got a win. That means that the deck was pretty looked after by a lot of people. But going forward here, will the deck remain a strong competitor? I would say you might want to put this more within the rogue segment of things, more so than that. But for the placement that it's had so far, for the fact that this deck has a win, I still want to put it in top 5 because players are still exploring the option trees for this. So, quite honestly with you guys, I think Rakdos on Avalon, just for the plays that it has, for the toolboxing options that it has, when you effectively have a secret, or when you have a Lair of Darkness field spell that just lets you tribute your opponent's stuff for really no reason, I think a lot of people really need to have some consideration for that. Because if you go into the plant matchup and you don't know what you're doing, you will be caught with your pants down, and you're going to be like, I don't know what I'm doing here, and you'll just lose the game. Like, that's what I have to tell you, man. Like, being unprepared, I mean, that's true for a lot of things, but being unprepared will definitely tear you up in the long run. So, Rakdos on Avalon. Next up here is Mathematic. Now, putting Mathematic over Rika, because this deck still continues to turn heads. Now that we have, you have two versions of this deck. You have the pure Mathematic deck, which I think a lot more people have become a lot more familiar with. Then you have the Adignister build, which ends up playing the splash package of Mathematics in the deck. You know what that little package does? It ups your consistency rate through the roof. When you can add a Cyverse package into a Cyverse deck and get rewarded for it, why wouldn't you want to? All right. The name of the game of the Mathematic stuff is consistency. Upping that floor level to make your deck all the more better, having the OTKs way easier to access. That's what you want to see with that package. All right. Now, a lot of people, once again, aren't really prepared for Mathematic. When you look at Mathematic as a deck, a lot of heads will turn. A lot of people will look at that engine and they'll go, what am I supposed to do about this? What is the point to this engine? Well, as I've said, ladies and gentlemen, it upgrades your consistency. It allows for OTKs. Trust me, when you look at that Mathematic package, the streamlined OTKs that you get, because that package exists right now, are crazy. All right, it amazes me to no end just what backbone you get. Now with the Ignister version, I mean, the big thing with the Ignister package is you'll always have the ability to end on the big Link 6, which is a walking, talking towers. It's always your emergency oh crap button. Something went wrong, I'm losing control of the game, just slam down the big guy. Not a problem, all right? Having an oh crap button built into a deck like that feels really, really good and gives you a nice little safety net. So that's definitely one of the things that you need to consider is what you're getting with that. Next up here is Sprite, and you're like, whoa, Robbie, you're talking about Sprite this far down? Well, Sprite has had, God, how many innovations to it at this point? You've had the Dark Beckoning Beast package within the deck. You got Deep Sea Divas, the Frog stuff, the Nimble Anglers. You pick your flavor of level 2 sauce and that you want to go. But the thing is, Sprite isn't the best deck. It has had some of the highest representation, but we've been seeing shifts in the meta. The thing with Sprite is, like, it hasn't consistently took a big win yet, but its top cut representation has been immense. All right, like this deck has had some of the scariest turnover conversion rates for regionals. YCSs, it's had pretty high numbers, but it'll kind of start to get grinded out a little bit. Now, when we look at Sprite, you know, we all joke around. We're like, you know, oh yeah, it's the best deck in the format. And I mean, it's gosh darn close to being the best deck. To be perfectly honest with you, I think Sprite might be the scariest deck in the room. Sometimes. When I say sometimes, I mean, the other two decks that run around in the room are, I think, infinitely more scary than what we're dealing with Sprite. So if you're really worried about Sprite, you got Dark World No More's Ultimate Slayers, you know, Forbidden Droplets. You have all of these good resources available to you that, while Sprite might set up a very intimidating, crazy board for you at the end of the day, you have outs to it. The problem that with Sprite right now is it's becoming a splashable engine. Almost like Sky Striker Orcus days, where you could play this in like a tier deck. You can do like full tier combo and smash down a starters at the end of the combo and climb up through Sprite combo. See the issue with this? Like, we're starting to see these splash builds come up, and players are like, oh, that's a thing. Next up here is Mystic Mind Burn. Taking down the Chile, or no, it wasn't Chile, taking down a fairly recent event. I believe it was Brazil. Seeing this deck come through, so many people were just, oh, like Mystic Mind Burn 1? Like, what is this crap, man? I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not surprised in the very least. I got to put Mystic Mind Burn relatively high up here because Mystic Mind as a card right now, it's just some of the craziest stuff in the world. Now, you'll hear the community go, you know, just draw the out 5-head, you know, just draw it, all right? You got Mystical Space Typhoons, you got, you know, Cosmic Cyclones, Twin Twists, you got all this stuff, or so says the community. You know, there's the giant debate of, you know, is Mystic Mine Armax C, you know, will we see Mystic Mine get removed in the future of the game? Honestly, it's the splash ability that's starting to run this card's course. The fact that, you know, this card exists and the splashable volume that it exists, you once again are starting to see this issue. So, Mystic Mine, in really any sort of capacity right now, is going to be your most craziest thing to really deal with. All right, especially like if you're playing a combo deck out here, you know, this deck just kind of shows up straight, grinds against you, and goes against the very fabrics of what your deck wants to do. You know, good news is, as a Mystic Mind player, if 95% of the field is, you know, Sprite, and you're just like, Easyville, you know, you get to play your best matchup all day long, and when you can play against your best consistent matchup, you're doing the thing. Or in the case of Mystic Mind seeing relative play right now, well, one step closer to ensuring that the card gets banned. You know, it's just everybody play Mystic Mind and Jack. The sooner that we can get the card removed from the field. All right, it's that easy. I think the best deck in the room right now is Tier. Now, I did say at the beginning of this video that we've seen Sprite and Tier duking it out for the best deck of the format for a little while now. But what we've seen as of late was Tier has started to turn the tables and started to raise the ceiling. I think too many people were looking at Sprite and looking at like the combos and being like, you know what, why Sprite is a good deck. They're more perplexed by the higher ceiling that you're getting literally from the other deck in the room. Like, let's be honest here. Sprite combo is the nice little safe, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, you get the bare minimum, you're good to go. When you look at like Tier though, you see infinite combo potential. You know, you do have the Ishizu package coming much further along here in the future, where you're going to see that explosion of competitive value, where you're going to see that big shift in the metagame. So you think Tier format is really bad right now. Wait until you see that bigger shift in the metagame here in the near future, because to be perfectly honest with you, this is just the very beginning. So for now, Tier has become the highest represented deck at a lot of events. I think we'll continue to see the grind between Sprite and Tier, but Mystic Mind is just wedging its way into the competitive scene right now at, honestly, a very alarming rate. All right, a lot of players, the Mystic Mind situation has it's got to evolve, man. It just needs to get out of the game. Just exit out, Konami, please. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.